You know, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. The things that we're talking about, the horrible, the egregious conduct I engaged in at ABC News before I left 12 years ago, are things that I should have known at the time warranted apologies to the women that I victimized. And one of the mistakes I made was when I left ABC, I was trying to change my life. I was trying to move on with my life. So I apologize, and I acknowledge that I made a mistake not apologizing in those intervening years from the time I left ABC until the women came forward and told their stories. Over the last 2 years, when the stories appeared initially, I apologized publicly, and in listening to the stories that the women who I victimized told, I felt horrible. They're a group of people, but they're individuals, and every individual story, I recognized that I was at fault, and I could see in the pain and in some cases anger that they still felt 10 years later, just how horrible my conduct had been, just how much it had hurt them. So I wanted to apologize, and I said the first week, I'd like to apologize. And through intermediaries, I reached out, mostly through intermediaries, to say, please, could we figure out a way to achieve that difficult task of putting us either in the same room or having me write something to apologize. And in a few cases, I was able to do that. But for the most part, what I got back was they weren't ready to hear from me. The pain was still too raw. The difficulty they had and the courage they showed in coming forward to speak was something that left them, in almost every case, unwilling to hear from me. And I understood that. Over the last 2 years, including recently, I've offered publicly and privately to say I'd like to apologize. And I hope that anyone who's hearing me now and anyone who's had that conveyed to them privately or publicly over the last few weeks and months, I hope they're willing to accept. But that's not up to me. That's the decision for them in every case.